rhubarb crumble as well as date nut balls, energy bites. So I'm going to get started with the apple rhubarb crumble. This is some rhubarb that is quite thick, and I'm going to show you the way that I cut it, but it's up to you how you want to cut your own. Also as well, I have ambrosia apples. You can use whatever apples you like. I like to keep the skin on when the apples are organic. Otherwise, you're welcome to take them off. I know sometimes when we make an applesauce or something that's cooked, sometimes the skin, it's not enjoyable to eat when something's cooked, so you can remove the skin if you want. Also as well, I have my pan here, a glass pan. We're not going to oil it. This is an 8-inch by 8-inch glass pan. So the recipe that I have, it's something that El Rizzi on Twitch, he did a couple days ago. So I'm somewhat going to follow that recipe. But I'm going to do my own thing as well. I find if I don't have ingredients or I want to try something different, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. There's also vanilla extract. You can use cardamom powder or cinnamon powder. Also as well, brown sugar or white sugar or coconut sugar, cane sugar. There's lots of options for the sweetener. So the recipe, let me just look at the recipe here. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll get to back and forth to the chat. Okay, so I'll read out to you the recipe and basically what I'm going to be doing. So the filling is rhubarb and the apples. It says to do 2 pounds of rhubarb. I have no clue what 2 pounds is. My guess is maybe 2 to 3 cups. Again, I'm okay with experimenting. Hopefully you are as well. And then the apples, I have 2 apples, which makes about 2 cups of apples. The sugar is about 1 1/4 cups of sugar. I'm going to use less than that because I have apple as well. If you just had the rhubarb, then it could be quite tart with the rhubarb. Plus, I don't really have a sweet tooth anyways. Then all-purpose flour, if you want, you can use spelt flour, about 1/4 cup of that. And a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom powder. And the crumble, basically, I'll read out the measurements for that after, but you'll need flour, salt, brown sugar, or whatever sugar you want, and also butter. Otherwise, you can use coconut oil, which I'm going to be using. So basically, you're cutting up the fruit and mixing with the sugar and spices. So I find cutting rhubarb can kind of be like celery. Sometimes you have to pull off the string. So let's see if we need to do that. No, not really. Okay. Yeah, I would do 1/2 inch chunks. So it's up to you if you want to use a really big knife. I have a small paring knife. I'm comfortable with this. Oh, okay, yeah. Some of it's peeling, kind of like celery sometimes. So I'm going to measure out the rhubarb just to get an estimate. So far, it's about 1/2 cup for a 1/2 large stalk. And at the bottom, I picked this was in my landlord's garden. So whether you buy it at the store from the garden, you might have the root at the bottom. Not the root, but you don't want to keep that part. So it's great to use rhubarb when you can, when it's in season, depending where you live. You can have it in your own garden. You can purchase it at the store. Yeah, this is peeling like this celery. So this is almost a full stock is 1 cup. There's just a little bit left. And my apple pieces are almost the same size as my rhubarb. Not sure if you can see that there. It's quite sunny today, so you get natural lighting here. For the apple, I'm going to show you how I cut mine. So remove the core. I like to do, this is tricky to show. I like to, don't worry, my knife is not super sharp, I won't hurt myself. I like to do it like a triangle. Go inwards like that. Let's see if you can see better than this one. Oh, I just realized I wasn't showing you the cutting board. Excuse me for that. Okay. So cutting the apple into the 4 pieces there. So the rhubarb split at the top there, but I'm going to keep it. So yes, as I was saying before, rhubarb, you can get it in season, depending where you live, and start coming up or be ready in May or June. I've made muffins with rhubarb before, smaller chunks than this. Made rhubarb muffin. I've done crumbles. I've cooked it on the stove top with rhubarb, apple, and cinnamon, a little bit of water. Yeah, so if you like the tart taste, you can add maple syrup or honey when you're doing it on the stove top. Also, oh, I'm just going to put the oven on. It takes my oven about 10 minutes or so. I believe I'm just going to check the temperature. I think it's 375. Yes, 375. And okay, so the last of the rhubarb. I'm interested to hear how you like your rhubarb, or how you plan to use the rhubarb. Not sure if people ever eat it raw. Maybe very thinly sliced with apple, and maybe you can make a salad. I like with wondering where I'm reaching my green beans over there. I like how lots of fruits and vegetables, you can use it in many ways. And okay, so we have our rhubarb and apple here. And I'm going to be using organic cane sugar. I think I'm just going to use about 1 cup. The crumble has some sweetener in it as well, and yeah, as I mentioned before, I don't really have a sweet tooth, and I'm experimenting with the recipe, so if I want to make it again next time, I'll know to add more sugar. There's quite a big chunk of sugar in here. I don't think and I don't have cardamom powder, but I'm going to use cinnamon. I don't have too much cinnamon left, and I want to use it for some other recipes. So I think for cinnamon, probably half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. I'm just going to estimate here. Actually, this is almost a teaspoon. Okay. And let me just check the recipe for the vanilla. One teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just going to mix this first. Good tip for next time, use a bigger bowl for mixing purposes. Okay, so vanilla. So I'm going to let this sit for a bit before I transfer it to pan. Okay, I'm going to make the crumble now. So the crumble is 1 cup of flour, half a teaspoon salt, 1 cup, oh wow, it's a lot of sugar. 1 cup of sugar and half a cup of butter. Okay. I'm going to use my bigger bowl. For the crumble. I find sometimes if you have a bowl on the counter and you're mixing it, it might move around. So if you have a placemat or something with this has some rubber grips, so I'm just putting it underneath the bowl. So I'm going to use, I have spelt flour, but I'm going to use organic white flour. Yeah, I prefer to use organic for a lot of the foods that I eat because the organic is cleaner, the process is better for our bodies, especially produce, certain produce. Also, as well, if you feel that organic's expensive, you can always look for sales or when it's in season. Or just find it at a store that might sell a little bit less money. So, yes, okay. So this cup is okay, this cup is dry. So 1 cup of flour. I like to put my whatever dry ingredients or wet ingredients right beside the bowl because I find it can get messy on the counter sometimes. So that's about 20. Oops, I spilled on the counter. A little too fast. Oh well. Gonna check the recipe again. Okay. Excuse me, I need to move this up. Okay, so salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt. Half a teaspoon. Since I'm using less sugar maybe in the crumble, the topping, I might use less salt. I'm going to use 1/4. I'm just going to estimate. You can measure if you need to. I'm okay with estimating. And 1 cup of the sugar. I might do less sugar. I hope this isn't confusing you. I just find that my oven's ready. I just find that I'm totally fine with estimating. Okay. That's, yeah, a little over half a cup of cane sugar. Give that little mix with a fork. There are some sugar chunks. And half a cup of butter. So I'm going to read you the directions for the topping. So in a food processor, pulse together the flour, salt, and sugar. Then add the butter and pulse until the pieces of butter are pea-sized. In brackets it says, alternatively mix the dry ingredients together and cut the butter with 2 knives or pastry cutter. Then you're going to spread the topping over the rhubarb mixture. So I'm using soft coconut oil, and I'm just going to put it in and cut it with a knife, or I might get it with my hands. Okay, so because you want, as they said in the recipe, pea-sized butter chunks. Okay, so I think it was, yeah, half a cup of butter. So this is my half a cup. I keep my coconut oil in the cupboard that's a little bit warm. I'd say that's about a half a cup. cover my jars right away because you never know if something going slides in them. Okay, so let me actually it smells really good with vanilla. I'm pouring this in. So the recipe, because I'm sure this is probably less than 2 pounds of. Again, I'm doing rhubarb and apple, but the recipe says 2 pounds of rhubarb, which it suggests to use, I think, a 13-inch by 9-inch rectangular pan. I'm using 8-inch, and it's filled up pretty high here. Okay, so I'm using my spatula as well to get out the oil from the cup. So I'm using the 2 knives to break up the coconut oil. If you're a big fan of cardamom or cinnamon, you can always add some to the crumble as well. I could have used my food processor, but I'm going to be using my food processor for the nut date bites. Plus I wanted to show the hand option for your butter or coconut oil. I think this is taking less time because my oil is a little soft, so maybe if you're doing this with your butter, I don't think the recipe said what temperature butter to use. I can check after. Okay, I like that. This looks pretty good. Let me just Okay, let me show you what it looks like. Changing my lighting in here, see if that helps. Okay, so now I'm going to put the crumble. Let me just double check the recipe and make sure. Yes, okay. So putting the topping over top and bake for 35 to 45 minutes at 375. My oven's been ready for a while. Oh, just a sec. Make sure you can see this. So I think this is kind of a lot of a crumble just because, oh, well, maybe it's a good amount. Oops, getting messy over here. I thought maybe it was too much crumble because smaller pan. Okay, I'm just going to move crumble to the edges of it. Mm. Okay, even though it suggests to do it for 35 to 45 minutes, I feel my portion was less, so I'm doing it for, I'm going to do 25 minutes and check at 25 minutes. Okay, so now I'm just going to tidy up a bit, and I'm going to make the date nut energy bites. So while I'm tidying up a bit, I'll let you know what ingredients we'll need. So medjool dates, or if you have regular dates, I don't know what the name of those ones are. And what else? Either walnuts or cashews or almonds, cinnamon, if you have spirulina powder. Just think about kind of what flavor seasoning you want inside of them. Oh, lemon, you can fresh lemon. And what else? I think that's about it. So, yes, okay. So you'll need a food processor. If you don't have one, you can maybe try something similar to a food processor. And everything's going to go in the food processor, and then you're going to roll them into little balls or bars. So I have an older food processor, and you want to have the standard S blade. So what I really like about these date nut balls or bites or bars is that the dates are the base, and then you can use whatever nuts you want. You can use whatever powders you want. Lemon juice always is nice if you need extra like dampness, because sometimes you'll need that to kind of have them come together. But also as well, the lemon's wonderful for the vitamin C, and it just tastes really great. And you can use whatever powders you want. You can even throw in some rolled oats if you like. So yeah, I have my dates here. So these are the medjool dates. They are very large, so you want to open them up and get out the pit. Oh wait, let's do, excuse me, before we do that, I like to grind the nuts in here first, and then the dates, and then the powders, so let me get So let me just open up the recipe here, and we can follow it. Well, I'll let you know the measurements, even though I might not do it for myself here right now. So yeah, excuse me, I didn't have the file ready. So what's also great about making the bars at home is that you can make them anytime. You can leave them in the fridge for a week or two. They may go before that. But also as well, sometimes you just need that protein or the fat, the energy for your day, if you're out for the day. Instead of buying something at the store, right? You make something yourself. Okay, so for medjool dates, if you don't have medjool dates, if you have another type of date that's not as soft as a medjool date, I would suggest to soak the other type of dates in warm water for maybe 30 minutes or more. Keep the soaked water though, because you can always use that in a smoothie. No need to waste that. And then, yeah, those soft dates that you've just soaked, take them out and put them in a blender. Okay, and then 1/4 of a cup of nuts. So again, I suggested walnuts, cashews, almonds. Oh yeah, optional, we can add in hemp seeds. I said about a half tablespoon to a tablespoon of hemp seeds. And we can do ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon, and lemon. Okay. I might also do my spirulina chlorella powder as well. Okay. But when you do these, it's fun to add different powders, but sometimes it can be overpowering to add too many flavors at once. Okay. So almonds, excuse me, cashews. They're already broken pieces. Okay, a food processor is going to be a bit loud, excuse me. So just do it, just pulse it a little bit and check. Yeah, so it's a little bit smaller. And then just wash my hands for the dates. So that one date I already took the pit out. Then you can separate it in half if you want. sometimes on the medjool dates, you'll get this little piece at the top. You just want to remove that. Somewhat inspect your dates as well, because on a rare case you might get one that has mold or these like black spots inside. I don't know why that happens, but it's good to check your dates before you put them in something. So I'm going to mix that again, or roast it. So it's not really wet, so I am going to add some lemon. I am going to add some cinnamon. I can't say the word right now. Cinnamon. And I have a spirulina chlorella powder, the combination one. And I'll probably add just 1/4 for now. Teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon. So you know this chlorella spirulina powder. Oh, it's sticking to the spoon. Be careful with it. Once it gets wet, it can stain your clothes or fabrics. Okay. So you know, because you have powders in here, they might puff up. So if you have the device that goes in here, use that, or just cover with your hand. I'm going to try a little bit before I roll them because, oh yes, I was going to add some hemp seeds too. That's nice. Very sweet because of the date. I've added more spirulina powder, so that's a 1/2 teaspoon of spirulina. Maybe I did 1/4 of cinnamon. I didn't use too much lemon. If you want to be careful because of the seeds, you can always put the fork, oh wait, or your hand to catch it. Yeah, hemp seeds. I might just do a teaspoon. Okay. So I'm going to put this down like this so you can see me rolling them. And I'm going to put them on a plate. If you want, you can always roll them in hemp seeds. Oh yeah, a nice thing to add if you're a fan of chocolate is do carob powder. You can always put carob powder in this, or you can roll it in carob powder. I'm not going to worry about any powder or hemp seeds. So I've washed my hands again. I am going to leave them a bit damp just for purposes of rolling. So I am going to use my tablespoon here to show you that that's how much you can maybe use to roll. So that's a little less than a tablespoon. Yeah, so then just squeeze it. It's nice to have your palms wet so it won't stick or damp, palms damp. Just roll it. There you go. I'm also going to show you, I've done them in little bars before. So with the bars, I've actually used parchment paper. Let me just get it out. So I have parchment paper, and I'm going to use that to do my bar. These are nice bite-sized, well, maybe 2 bites. You don't need too much of this as a snack or energy. This is also about a tablespoon. So if you can, just make it a little square with your fingers, but then use the paper to help it if you need to. Yep, so there's a little bar. Yep, so as I mentioned before, you can eat these a little pick-me-up, snack when you're out for the day, maybe on a long walk or hike. Because you have the nuts, hemp seeds, got your healthy fat and protein. So again, we have dates in here, cashews, hemp seeds, cinnamon, lemon, spirulina chlorella powder. Oh, my spirulina powder didn't mix well in here, so I'm going to pick it up. Oops. Okay. Other options again, you can add cocoa powder, carob powder. Carob powder is doesn't have caffeine in it, and the taste is different. You can also add, oh yeah, you can also add, it escaped me, I was just thinking of it. Oh, you can add pumpkin seeds, you can add sunflower seeds, so a different seed than, okay. So this usually makes, how many here? 6 to 7 bars if they're a tablespoon or so. I'm noticing that it stuck to my fingers, so that's why I keep doing that. So about 7 minutes left for the apple-rhubarb crumble in the oven. That will be 25 minutes. As I mentioned, I wanted to check it at 25 minutes. So I'm going to put this processor on again to get final spin of this. seeing if everything can come off the plate. Okay. I'm just going to get my spatula to clean up, get all this here. So you can store these in the fridge in a container for a few days. You can eat them when they're cold or let them get at room temperature. These can be quite sweet because of the dates. So, yeah, you're welcome to add other dried fruit like raisins or goji berries. Yeah, it's one of those recipes you can totally have fun with and do whatever you want with the ingredients inside. So it's up to you. You can either have like maybe 2 or 3 of these at once. Okay, I think I got everything from the food processor. Didn't really good. I only got some head seeds on my finger. So another combination I was just thinking of for the date nut balls is coconut flakes. If you like coconut flakes, you can do some coconut flakes with dates, maybe cocoa powder or cacao powder, maybe a little bit of goji berries. Yeah, coconut. I like coconut flavor, so you can always do that. I find these are quite. It's a nice view. Whoop, don't want to roll them over. If you're a fan of almond butter, peanut butter, sunflower seed or pumpkin seed butter, you can also add that, but I find it would be too wet then. You'd need to add more of a powder. Because I find with the dates, the mixture is quite wet, so you'd have to add more nuts or powders if you add like a nut or seed butter. Again, just totally have fun with it and what you want to do. So yeah, just going to tidy up here a bit. How much time? About 3 minutes or so. Okay. I don't see any comments here, but if you have, apologies, I don't seem to see them. Okay. What else could be put in the nut balls? I think that's about it. Oh yeah, maca powder. Maca powder is great for our adrenals. And also as well, what do I have in the cupboard here? Let me just check. Oh. Yeah, I think that's about it. I know, I'll probably eat these in a couple of days. I'm going to leave them in the fridge. So that was the beat for a minute countdown. I'm noticing that it's bubbling up, so that's good. The fruit wasn't too high because it would have bubbled up and fell down. So if you find that your crumble, the fruit's too high, then you could do a pan, like put it on the pan. The recipe for the apple-rhubarb crumble, it didn't mention anything about what level to put it in the oven. I like to, whenever I'm baking or cooking in the oven, I prefer to put my food on the middle shelf, but also in the center. Yeah, so I'm going to check it now. It looks like it's ready. I'm just going to poke at the fruit a little bit, the root part. Yeah, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Turned off the oven. So it's still sizzling. Wait, I'm going to angle the camera better. So it says, apologies for the lighting, it's really bright out today, so the way it is here. Okay. Anyways, I hope yours turned out wonderful and smells wonderful. It says to let it cool for about 30 minutes. Let me just double check. So just from looking at, let me just double check here. Yeah, so I decided to do 25 minutes instead of 35, 45 minutes, again, because my pan was 8 by 8, but the recipe said if you do it in a 9-inch by 13-inch rectangular pan. Again, I think mine was less than 2 pounds of fruit. So it says bake until the filling is bubbling and the topping is lightly browned. Mine was not really lightly browned, but I'm okay with that. And it says, yeah, cool for about a half an hour before you serve. And yeah, you're welcome to serve it with ice cream or whipping cream, maybe some cinnamon on top, maybe some coconut milk, lots of options. I will be taking some photos for myself, and yeah, plan to go live a bit more with different recipes whenever I'm in the kitchen. I like to use my food processor a lot. Also, my blender, I have a Vitamix. It's a high-powered blender. I usually do smoothies with that. I'll also do some soup sometimes. So mainly in the fall, winter, I'll do, warming soups. But when it comes to summertime, when tomatoes are out, I like to do sometimes a raw tomato soup. I also like to, I usually use my food processor and blender quite a bit. and usually foods that are in season. So right now the rhubarb is out. Coming up will be sweet peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers. Yeah, lots of different foods. Let me know if there's any particular foods or recipes that you're interested in. Right now on my website, I do have some recipes and other blogs, articles I've written about food. Yeah, so it's melaniekarnacki.com. You can see it in my bio or the description under this video after it's done. Yeah, really great to share with you today. And I hope you be well, live well, and stay well. Till next time.